Let's get ready to rumble!
Moses Itauma has a lot on the line, you know. He's ranked number 7 with the IBF, number 3 WBA. No love from the WBC, but ranked number 1 by the WBO. So when he takes on Dillian Whyte on this Riyadh season card, August the 16th, he's putting a lot on the line. But this is what it's all about. Dillian has a wealth of experience. And this must not be underestimated. Regardless of what his form is or his inactivity now, it must not be underestimated. Yeah? Anthony Joshua, loss. Dave Allen, win. 2 fights with Derek Chisora and 2 wins. Victory over Hellenius. Lucas Brown, unbeaten, 25-0, former world champion. Joseph Parker, former world champion. Unanimous decision over him and Lucas Brown. Oscar Rivas was 26-0 when Dillian outpointed him. A win and a loss against Alexander Povetkin. Was stopped by Tyson Fury, and he's won his last 3 against Jermaine Franklin, Christian Hammer, Ebenezer Tete. Now, the last 3 fights, all victories, we haven't seen Dillian at his best. But Dillian withdrew himself from this card tonight, Portman Road, with Fabio headlining against Huni, and this is why he withdrew. His record currently stands 31-3-0, 21 inside the distance, 3 losses. He's 37 years of age. Now he's getting on, but that's not ancient for a heavyweight. Not in comparison to the other weight classes at least. Moses, 12-0, 10 inside the distance, no losses, no draws. His latest victory was against Mike Balogun. He stopped the likes of Dempsey McKean, who hadn't been stopped before, and gave Filip Hrgovic life and death. He stopped Marius Wach. But there's not much else on there. Let's keep it real. This is Dillian's chance to gate crash back into the rankings. Dillian was number 1 contender for Deontay Wilder's WBC belt for a little while. Mandatory until Tyson Fury had the belt. And statistically still has a very good record. Can Dillian still explode from his trademark catch and shoot maneuver? Dillian is a decent combination puncher. His 3 knockout defeats have all come via uppercut. Anthony Joshua, Povetkin, and Tyson Fury. Is that what Ben Davison will be working on with young Moses, who has looked pretty much a precocious talent since he was taken the distance consecutively in 2023 by Dovizchenko and Espindola? Dovizchenko, the Ukrainian, took the unbeaten record of Matty Harris that same year. Took TKV and Huey Fury 6 rounds as well, so I wouldn't look into that too much. In his recent performances, he's looked explosive, flawless. The last knockdown that ended the fight against Balogun, he was actually moving backwards as he landed the right hand. A rare skill that few boxers can do. Looking forward to this one. This is not the final breakdown and prediction, of course it's not. Do you think this is a good fight for Moses? You might actually think this is not a good fight. You might actually think it's a regressive step for Moses. I'm not sure about that. I don't think you can discount the experience, even if Dillian hasn't looked great recently. I think psychologically for Moses, this could be a challenge for Moses as much as physically. I mean, he's 17 years younger than Dillian at 20 years of age. And Kakashi versus Ray Ford at 130? Where they holding this card? Is it at Wembley? Wembley Stadium? Who's headlining? I'm saying I need more time to break it down, but I'm leaning towards Moses Itauma. But it could be as psychologically taxing for Moses as physical. Dillian is a talker. Well, at least he was. I mean, that Tyson Fury fight, Dillian didn't mentally turn up. I'm not saying he would have beaten Tyson Fury, but he definitely mentally checked out. And make no mistake, Queensbury are looking at Dillian as a stepping stone for Moses. And Dillian's fully aware of that. If you're of the opinion that Dillian is not going to win this, do you think he can make it competitive? One of boxing's cliches is knockouts cause amnesia. So, for instance, like Fabio Wardley losing the previous 9 rounds, then bailing himself out with a right hand. A lot of people in a couple of months, in a couple of years, will just see the knockout highlight. And if they've never seen that fight before, that's all they'll retain as a memory of what actually happened. Well, knockouts cause amnesia, and matchmaking brainwashes. Everyone has it that Moses is just gonna mollywop Dillian Whyte. But there's people saying Dillian is not worthy of sharing the ring with Moses Itauma. But then you ask yourself, like, who has mollywopped Dillian? I know he got knocked out. But who's just like dominated Dillian from the first round to the conclusion, brushed him aside? Nobody. They tried to say Tyson Fury yesterday in the hangout. No. That fight was a stalemate for long periods. Tyson Fury was not dominating that fight. He found that right uppercut and got rid of him. Anthony Joshua, he had issues with the body punches earlier and Dillian hurt him with the left hook, and then he took over and he won the fight. The Povetkin fight, Dillian had Povetkin down a couple of times and was dominating, and then got caught with that left uppercut. And then they're looking at Dillian's last 3 fights as inactivity, and he hasn't looked impressive. But the point stands. Who dominated him in his losing fights and the fights that he won and didn't look impressive in recently? No one's dominated him. The matchmaking, which I always talk about probably more than any uploader you've listened to, the matchmaking has made Moses look like Superman. And I'm not saying he is not a top prospect. I'm not saying that, right? Because they can do the matchmaking to bring on your skill level, to bring you on as an attraction, and you can still fumble the bag. He hasn't fumbled the bag. He's looked good thus far. He's done what they've asked him, and he's surpassed what they've asked him in terms of performance. But Mariusz Wach was past his best. You guys have never heard of Mike Belugan. I didn't even know he was stopped by Gassiev in the fight before he got stopped by Moses. The Dempsey McKean win was impressive. Dempsey gave Hrgovic a lot of issues, life and death, but he lost. Dempsey McKean doesn't have a top 10 ranked opponent, a top 15 ranked opponent on his resume that he's beaten. I've got no problem with people saying that Moses will win the fight. I have no problem with that. But all this annihilate, Dillian shouldn't be in the ring. But these are the same people who've been saying Moses will knock out Anthony Joshua in a round. Really? So Joshua wouldn't have beat Belugan, Dempsey McKean, Mariusz Wach. Moses hasn't fought anyone with a knockout percentage like Dillian. Moses hasn't fought nobody with a resume like Dillian's. He hasn't. Whether Dillian's time has went and passed, Moses needs to tick boxes. If Dillian brings his A game in terms of psychological warfare and starts talking that ish and putting it on Moses, that's a box that needs to be ticked. If he gets hit by a vintage Dillian left hook, if he still has one, that's a box that needs to be ticked. And if he rolls Dillian over in one, like everyone is saying, you might try and say, well, Dillian passed his best and hasn't did this. No one's done Dillian in a couple of rounds and just brushed him aside and dominated. No one's done that. That would be a feather in Itauma's cap. People like taking people's victories away from them. I noticed that. Oh, he was past his best. Because the matchmaking has basically brainwashed you. Do you want to see who Luis Ortiz fought before he challenged Wilder for the title? Do you want to see that? Do you want to see Wilder's first 30 plus opponents? Go look at the top ranked heavyweights right now. Look who their 12th and 11th opponents are. And you guys are demanding that Moses Itauma and Frank Warren get in the DJ booth and take requests. No, this is their show. He's still a prospect. They select who he's going to fight. He's not a championship fighter yet. Dillian's got 31 wins, 3 losses. Former mandatory contender. This is way more than possible for a 12th or 13th fight. This is a perfectly good fight for Moses Itauma and for Dillian Whyte. If Dillian loses this one, he could continue fighting, but he's unlikely to because the purses that will be available to him after that, at 37, he'll have to be fighting for Steve Wood down at VIP like Zelfa Barrett was yesterday. And I'm not sure Dillian's about that life at all. Small hall boxing.
Fabio, his legs are static. Static legs. Look at them. They're like wood. They're like wood. The movement is non-existent. That's why you can't get your jab off because you're not moving. Great right cross from Huni. Sitting target. Fabio can't block the shots no more. Left hook. That time he's blocked from Fabio. That right hand weren't blocked. Fabio tries that right uppercut. Comes up short. Huni got out of there. Wow. There's the jab from Huni. Fabio pouring out that jab. Don't pour, Fabio. Throw it. Throw the jab properly. He's out of breath. He's out of ideas. I tell you what, the scorecards could be the biggest threat to Huni right now. With only 3 rounds to go. Oh, great shot from Fabio. See the power. Wow. Puncher. Big puncher. Wow. That fight looked lost. Bailout power. He needed that one. What a punch. Out of nowhere. Look at Eddie. Eddie's gutted. Eddie Hurley's gutted. He's a great puncher. This is the punchers division. Yes, Toro. Punchers division. Huni's going to be gutted. BG says Wardley done on Wilder. Wow. Where did he find that shot?
Lucky punch. Luck. And I'm not going by the Oxford or Cambridge definition. But in this situation would imply Bruno Saracen, who had very few KOs in his record. And Jaime Munguia had only been floored, I believe, by Canelo in 30 plus fights, getting knocked out. And even then, I wouldn't say Saracen landed a lucky punch. I don't believe in lucky punches. When you've got 18 inside the distance out of 19 wins, luck doesn't come into it. The facts are, the way the fight ended is a viable option for a puncher like Fabio to win fights when he's behind on points, looking like he's lost. Mike Weaver, he was down on the scorecard's 15th round. WBA heavyweight title against John Tate, and he knocked out Tate with that left hook. Mike Tyson against Francois Botha. Mike was expected to dominate. Found himself down after 4 rounds, and then cracked Botha with that short right hand, and it was over. Go look at Mike's knockout percentage and Mike Weaver's highlight reel of knockouts. Luck don't come into it. Fabio could do that to Alexander Usyk. It's just less likely that Usyk's going to make them type of mistakes. Now, a lot of people are going to be jumping up and down, triggered that I mentioned Usyk's name in the same sentence as Fabio. Like he hasn't got a chin that can be hurt. I said it's less likely it would happen to Usyk because he don't make as much mistakes as Justice Huni or Just Ice Huni. You look good in there.
Yeah. Look, I'm not the finished article. I haven't got everything nailed down, everything perfect.
Fabio, how many of those type of fights do you want to have?
None. I think that's it. I think I'm good. I think I've had my fill. A couple more of the last one with the first round knockout. I'll take those every day. Yeah, look, the game's the game. There are going to be moments where I'm going to have to graft it out, grind it out like that. Very much I do not want to keep taking years off my life like this, but that's right. Maybe I have a screw or something loose, but I do absolutely love it.
Has Fabio overachieved? Has he reached his threshold in terms of potential as a world-class heavyweight? And how far can he go is the big question. Huni looked nervous before, is what I was observing. But come fight time, he took the fight to Fabio. Like he said in the press conference when Fabio said he was going to run, there was no running. He took it to him. Took away Fabio's right hand by concentrating on landing his. The aggression was a revelation for most who didn't think the soft-bodied Australian could take it to Fabio like that. I didn't have Fabio winning a round. Not one. The feints, the footwork, the body punching, the jab. Make no mistake, Fabio was getting schooled. Queensbury are not going to Joe Joyce jinx this. They're going to have to reevaluate the whole Fabio Wardley thing right now. Fabio was ranked number 1. I believe he's either regular or interim. It's just a whole load of sanctioning fees for the sanctioning bodies to collect. There will be no matching up Fabio with all the names you're going to say you want to see him in. That's not going to happen now. They're going to cash their chips in after Dubois and Usyk, where Fabio's name will be in the shake-up. If Dubois wins, we're going to see Dubois against Fabio, more than likely. If Usyk wins, Frank's going to likely have a lot of heavyweights in his stable who want the shot against Usyk. And Fabio will be one of them. Fabio is technically as limited, or maybe even more so, than Joe Joyce. So they have to be very careful. Is he the British or the Ipswich Wilder? I think it's a fair comparison. It's a fair comparison. Justice Huni, a lot of people are saying he can come back with a couple of wins, and of course he can. He's still young, but it won't be easy. There are a few times it looked like he was on the verge of stopping Fabio, but either the lack of punch power or it just wasn't his night. It didn't happen. And the next time he's in front in a significant fight, it's likely to go through his head that he could screw this up again. To be honest, I don't think he really screwed it up. People are saying he should have been more cautious. Well, he wasn't beating Fabio's ass way ahead on the scorecards by being cautious. He boxed according to a game plan and he was doing very well. And he got caught. That's boxing. Fabio caught him with a good shot at the end of the first round. And he caught him a few other times with some good shots. Because Justice, or Just Ice, as I call it, stood in the pocket. and made it a formidable night's boxing. Hey, one of the best heavyweight displays we've seen over here recently by Just Ice. He looked really good in there for 9 rounds. Really good. If he's still got the appetite, I would love to see him in more matchups if he's still got the appetite. Definitely so. On just skills alone, he's a top 10 heavyweight, but he lacks other minerals and components to make him a bona fide top 10 heavyweight. And whatever it is I believe he lacks is probably more mental than anything. But look, someone's got to lose, man. We often overthink these things. He boxed well until he got caught. I loved what he was doing in there. I really enjoyed what that kid was doing in there. He looked like $1 million in there. He really did. He took Fabio to school. He really did. It's whether he's disheartened or encouraged by a fight that's going to be talked about for a long time in this country. I'll tell you that much now. Fabio, if a title shot is on the horizon but it's going to be delayed with all the traffic jostling for a title shot at either Daniel or Alexander, they'll be very cautious on how they're matching Fabio. Very cautious. They're saying here the punch seriously hurt Huni and the referee stopped the fight after a somewhat brisk standing count as Huni slowly got to his feet. Are they saying the count was a little abrupt and the fight was stopped prematurely because Team Huni are putting in a protest? I don't think it would come to much. Huni may have thought he needed a stoppage or a knockout because he was on away soil. Not an unreasonable assessment to make for an away fighter. Perhaps took one chance too many. I said this from when this fight was announced, that Fabio taking on a good boxer like this at such short notice with Fabio's lack of experience could be a problem. And that's how it turned out. They won't be so cavalier in matching Fabio with short notice fights because he doesn't have the experience necessarily to be matched like that. Coppen 09, he was saying if he had a full camp, he would have dealt with Fabio. Coppen could be right, but we can only do ifs and ifs so much. He took his opportunity, and if he was meant to win yesterday, 5 weeks, 8 weeks, it would have been so. A lot of people want to talk about Matchroom keep losing. And hey, it's a good clack. I mean, Matchroom keep losing, but yo, Eddie and Frank Warren are producing gems. Absolute gems. And I'm wondering, can Ray Ford beat Anthony Kakache, or will Queensbury get them on that? I mean, Ray Ford's already lost to a Queensbury fighter in the 5 versus 5, but I really like that matchup. My money's on Ray Ford in a competitive fight with the winner getting a shot at Sugar Nunes. I'm not even going to waste my time talking about the rival champions, why they're dragging their heels to unify belts with Jai, because it's getting old. Golden Boy, they got some of the most protected fighters over there. Badu Jack and Noel McCalkin are going to run it back, although no one really cares about that fight. And it is what it is. So Jai runs his record to 28-0, 22 inside the distance, defended his title against Claudio Squeo, the Italian. Jai standing at 6'2", towered over Squeo, who didn't look like he was over 5'10". Squeo also came in around 191, around 9 pounds below the cruiserweight limit. Now, he gave it his best, his low center of gravity behind a high guard. Sometimes it was difficult for Jai to punch down, and sometimes it was hard for him to see them overhand rights coming over the top. But he never hurt Jai at no stage, never inconvenienced him, couldn't push him back. In the second round, Jai got down to business, started throwing some uppercuts, powerful right hands, hurting his man to the body. It looked like Jai wanted to box, but Jai, once he smells blood, he just goes after you, you know what I'm saying? The referee, Robert Hoyle, penalised Jai because he said he was holding and hitting. Well, if there's holding, isn't it for the referee to tell them to break, separate them? And if they are holding, are they not encouraged to punch with the free hand and fight their way out of the clinch? So the left hook that landed in his opponent's solar plexus put him on the canvas, wasn't ruled a knockdown, and he had time to recover, which drew boos from the crowd, and rightly so. It looked like he made a bit of a hash of that. Nevertheless, 4th round ended, and in the 5th round, a right hook to the jaw is rumoured to have broke Claudio Squeo's jaw, and that was that. He quit. He took a knee and the referee called it off. No more than light sparring for Jai, outboxing, outpunching the Italian with relative ease. The Italian resembled Canelo a little, with his squat physique and similar hair colour, but unfortunately for him, fought nothing like Canelo. If I was Jai, I would aim for 10 defences of that IBF title, then consider his options. He can retire or move up to heavy. He's made 6 already. Don't worry about unification. It's not in his hands, so why worry about it? He's Ring Magazine IBF champion. Why bother?